All right, if you could give us 3 or 4 of the main points of your platform or your plans for next year.
Sure. My platform has remained totally consistent throughout the entire time I've been running. It's been very clear that the 3 solid things I'm standing for are GWorld all over, GW 411, and GW Informed. GWorld all over, in my opinion, is one issue that affects all students. Every single student on this campus has GWorld. They're required to have money on it, and that's the way that they eat on this campus, buy their supplies for school on this campus. It's, you know, your ticket to getting things. So I think it's an issue that affects all students, and dining has definitely been a problem on this campus. Many students complain about it, as opposed to just smaller issues like wireless or having Marvin Center open 24/7, of which I don't feel are feasible. So I felt as though GWorld was definitely something the SA could tackle next year, because up until this point, no pressure has ever been placed on the GWorld office by the Student Association. My second initiative, which is GW 411, is all about bringing the SA back what it's supposed to be, 24/7 resource center for students. If we're hiring office assistants to sit in the office all day, they shouldn't just be answering phones. They should be totally fluent in all university policies. They should be fluent in what the Student Association is doing, and also know about housing issues or about financial aid. So students can actually call into the Student Association and talk to somebody. They don't have to find their senator. There's people in the office that know what's going on. Then also simply ask SA at gwu.edu. 24/7 time for us to stay accountable. So next year, if students actually have individual problems, there's a direct way for them to be answered. It sounds simple, but it really hasn't been done. And GW Informed is what I've been saying is my philosophy, to keep no student out of the loop. Because as a student leader for the past 2 years, all I've been doing outside of changing policy or doing finance committee has been educating students on how to actually get their hands on the resources that GW does have. But since there's so much red tape, as we all keep saying, students shy away from actually trying to get through it. So any meeting that I have with an administrator, I want there to be notes on that website, bi-monthly updates on what's going on, as well as town halls. Once a week, I would like to be in a visible place where students are interacting, and also have an administrator come once a week if possible. Very simple ways to actually bring the Student Association back to what it should be, in my personal opinion. So those are my 3 core platforms.
Why do you think, it will be easier to expand the GWorld program, if that's what you're suggesting, as compared to, say, getting wireless or advocating for the university to keep the Marvin Center and Duquesne open longer?
I've actually investigated, but I did look into what it would take to have wireless all across this campus. It would be very costly. Right now, the fiber optic systems that they have, you'd have to have an individual converter and system for each dorm. We can't just, say that I can't say that I'm going to run on that and change it. It's too costly, and I don't think, it's something that's feasible. As for 24/7 Marvin Center, again, there's no way for us to do that. But with GWorld, there's vendors on this campus that actually want to get in. They want students to be coming there and using their GWorld card. And there's many vendors that are actually starting to accept GWorld, but we don't know about it. There's like the GWorld office is totally disconnected from all of the students. And I'd like it to be the SA's priority to put a lot of their political capital on reforming dining and getting the process to be a bit more simple, working with the GWorld office, telling them that we actually do mean business, because up until now, there's been no advocacy or no pressure placed on the GWorld office.
Just briefly into maybe what you feel your biggest accomplishment has been, with your prior positions here at the university.
Okay. I think specifically, my very active approach to get to students one-on-one and sit down and explain to them exactly how to solve their problem. Because a lot of the time, you're just going around in a circle, and to solve a problem on your own at this university, you call the operator, you go to one department, you get switched to another department, they don't know how to answer it, go here. There's no way for you to do it yourself, and you get very frustrated. So as a student leader, I've made it my priority to actually take a very personal approach to it. And whether it's in student association, or whether it's in program board, or whether it's solving, my friend's problem who is in ROTC, but that, he doesn't necessarily know anybody in SA, I'm going to help the person. Keeping your ears open. I think at the debate the other night, someone mentioned that just, casually walking in your own circles is enough to get a feel for this campus. I don't. I'm awkward with people. I'll randomly stop people during my office hours in Marvin Center lobby and say, hey, are you in a student dorm? Really? Do you know about how to, bring an event to campus? Who's your SAC advisor? Do you have turnover in leadership already? Did you transition your financial officer for next year? Because a lot of people are actually doing that now. And they'll be like, oh, no. Do you know that there's mid-year review coming up? Oh, no, I didn't know that either. I do that a lot with people, not just with finance, but also with program board. And I think that's a great thing to do, and I don't see many student leaders doing that on campus. So that's one of my greatest achievements, outside of changing university policy or having meetings with vice presidents. It's actually just sitting down, talking very casually to students, not being all formal about getting their input, but just being much more real with them.
There seems to be an impression among many GW students that the essay is ineffective or inefficient. And you can see that in the fact that not too many people vote in these elections.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think it is about you that should motivate students to actually go out and vote?
Well, I think on my end, I've definitely changed the approach to campaigning and changed my approach to getting people to vote for me. I think that any student who actually votes for me in this upcoming election, whether it's 100 or whether it's 1,000, all of them are going to know who I am and what I stand for. They're not going to go and vote for me because their friends who's on a slate told them to, or said, or called them up on voting day from their calling center saying you have to vote for everyone that has this name attached to them. Everybody that's in this group of people, go vote for them. It doesn't matter. You don't need to know them specifically. But in my case, I think people that voting for me are actually going to know what I'm standing for, and that is what a true voter should be doing. So I'm actually excited for the upcoming election. I've tried throughout the entire campaigning process to be talking to people in depth about what I stand for, not forming massive groups of people to just, on voting day call people and just say to vote for Nicole Capp and not know who I am.
Question. But you've proposed a lot of big plans and initiatives, and there are some candidates who will say that that's not the job of the SA. It's not the job of the SA to propose these big plans and programs and to essentially be something like the program board or another, or just like a variation on it. I mean, how do you respond to those criticisms?
Well, I think out of all the candidates, my initiatives are the most easy to achieve. I don't think they have nothing to do with programming. It's not going to require any money to make the SA a resource system, a resource center for students. I'm not creating another level of bureaucracy. I'm just giving the SA a purpose. I'm taking steps to actually follow through with wanting to connect the SA to students. All the candidates say we want to have people connected. It's all about advocacy. It's about getting students to know about the SA. Well, if you're going to say that, you have to have plans ready, and that's why 2 of my 3 initiatives are geared towards exactly doing that, solving this problem that we have, which is that we're disconnected. So I don't think those are big issues that I have to rally the administration for. GW 411 and GW Informed, which are in depth online if you want to look at them specifically on my website, those are things I can achieve. Those are things that I can motivate other people to achieve and take ownership of. The only one big thing I'm pushing through is G-World All Over, and that's not a huge costly initiative. That's not needing funds for newspapers. That's not needing money for UPD to take students to the health center. That's not needing money to extend hours anyplace. So I think of all the candidates, mine are actually the most feasible. So, yeah.
For a final question, something we've also asked everyone,
Okay.
a little bit offbeat and quirky.
Okay.
What's something you think people don't know about you?
Okay. Well, besides the fact that I wanted to be an opera singer my entire life, and then I randomly came to GW and did economics, outside of that, I'm a really big swimmer. I used to swim competitively, backstroke, and actually dislocated both of my shoulders. And I still swim here at the pool. Nobody really sees me because I just pop into the pool and pop out. So those, I guess, would be the 2 things that not many people on this campus know about.